Hi everyone, and welcome to the WRDC Sports Friday Night Rivals Kickoff Special. We're so excited to be the home of Friday Night Rivals and to present another season of high school football on MyRDC. Starting Friday, August 26th at 7 p.m., we've got the first of 10 exciting matchups, including old rivalries, new rivalries, and past and present state champions. Stick around because over the next 30 minutes, we're going to reveal the entire Friday Night Rivals schedule, as well as break down some of the matchups with coach and player interviews. But first, let's take a look at some highlights from last season on Friday Night Rivals.
Play action, Murray over the middle. It's caught, touchdown. They're going to kick, it was blocked.
Right up the middle, is that Christopher?
Yes. Fortune, here's Grimes. Grimes down the sideline, look at Grimes go. Nobody's going to catch him. Fifth touchdown tonight. Pump of the fist, shake of the head, scoring.
Protection breaks down, he'll toss it to the right corner of the end zone, and it is in for a touchdown. Noah Rogers looks his way and finds him inside the 15-yard line and carries it into the end zone. Back to Hampton, and that's good for a first down. And just driving his way through, Hampton's going to take it in.
The screen, oh, it's intercepted. The lineman's green, he rumbles into the end zone.
In the 113 years of its existence, Cardinal Gibbons has won a lot of titles in many different sports. But until last season, the Crusaders had never won a title in football. That's all changed after the team's 14-2 victory over Chambers in the 4A championship. We visited Cardinal Gibbons and spoke with state champion head coach Stephen Wright about winning a title and how the team plans to stay on top. Here with Coach Stephen Wright of the state champion Cardinal Gibbons Crusaders. Coach, how's it been since December winning that final game over across the street in Carter Finley Stadium?
Yeah, it obviously was an absolutely incredible experience. We'd been there the last 2 years, but finally to punch through and get that win was huge. Big not only for our football program, but our school community. And so, yeah, it's been a great spring semester, I can tell you that.
What's it going to take for this year's team to repeat and win another state championship?
Yeah, I think, well, one, always, you got to stay healthy. And I think that's any level of football, any team in football, you've got to stay healthy. I think if we can manage to stay healthy, this is a group that is, poised to make some more noise, I think, in the postseason. So I think it's one, it's going to be health, and two, it's always interesting because every year you've got a new team. Even though you may have returning players, it's a different team every year. And that's really kind of the fun of, I think, team sports is finding, what that formula is as you kind of tweak your culture. And I think if our guys buy in again to this idea that, listen, hey, we're gonna try and out-prepare people, and our priority is going to be the team, not what I get out of this experience. So I think that's really for us kind of the two keys, health and culture. And if we can take care of those, I think we put ourselves in a position to at least give ourselves a chance to get back.
And as you prepare for this season, early on, the first month, a very tough schedule. What went into that thought process of really challenging yourself at the start of the season?
Yeah, well, we've learned, I think, over the years that the more we can challenge ourselves early in the season, the more we can kind of punch holes in what we think we might have. And it allows us to make adjustments as we work our way through the non-conference schedule, as we're challenged by these teams, and really makes us a better team once we get to the postseason.
Congrats on last year. We look forward to watching you this year in your march towards the playoffs.
Thank you so much, Jay. I appreciate you guys having us.
And of course, we'll see Cardinal Gibbons this year on Friday Night Rivals. We'll tell you when after the break when we reveal this season's schedule. Stick around.
We definitely feel like superstars on the field because we got the TV, commercial breaks and all that, so it just feels live and active, so I like that.
Welcome back to the WRDC Sports Friday Night Rivals Kickoff Special. It's now time to reveal the matchups, and we start our coverage with Leesville Road traveling to Panther Creek for what's become an annual non-conference rivalry. After losing at Leesville Road last season, the Catamounts won 9 of 12 games on their way to the 4th round of the playoffs, falling to eventual champion Cardinal Gibbons. They're looking to build off of last year's deep playoff run.
Well, last year was exciting. We faced some adversity. The guys overcame it. Starting to gel as a team at the right time, and we ended up on a good run. So that brings us into this year. We bring back some key guys, and we hope to keep the momentum.
And we've got you guys versus Leesville Road for week 1 of Friday Night Rivals. What does it mean to you and the program and the kids to have the spotlight on you?
Going against a great program like Leesville, a team that's always been a rival for us over here with the proximity, it makes it a little bit more challenging. When the guys get that opportunity, we just hope that they always take advantage of it. Either way, it's going to be good for the program.
What are some of the keys for you going against Leesville Road?
Just domination and getting to the ball, using my speed and my length and some of my strength, just rushing the passer. That's really my key.
Offensively, we got to score points. We got to capitalize, no turnovers, and just capitalize on offense. Make sure we get some points every time down.
Every year you coach, your team is always having great years. What is going to make this team special?
Yeah, we just have to grow up fast. So we're going to be young in some spots, talented, but young. Can we get the game reps? Can we grow up and continue to develop?
A great matchup with Panther Creek. What are the keys in that game?
Yeah, Coach Crocker does a great job. You know, they're super athletic. They're going to make you cover the whole field. It's going to be not blown assignments, giving up big plays in their passing game, and then just being able to protect.
How excited are the kids to be on Friday Night Rivals?
Yeah, they love that part. It's amazing. You saw last year, our kids they ball out. They just enjoy the limelight, being able to play not just in front of their community, but more people. And they want to do well and represent as well.
I have 100% trust in our defense. I feel like defense is going to play a good game, so offense just got to do their part. So running the ball, passing it when we need to, and I think that's going to win us the game.
What's the funnest part of football for you?
Honestly, Friday nights, getting to play in front of your hometown, your community, that's the best part. All the hard work pays off on Friday nights.
Our second game features 2 teams making their Friday Night Rivals debuts as Northern Durham visits Southern Durham. Being Labor Day weekend, this will be a special Thursday night edition of Friday Night Rivals. It will air Thursday, September 1st on MyRDC. Bragging rights are at stake for the crosstown schools that each opened in 1955. What makes the rivalry so special?
Tradition. It's probably one of the oldest rivalries in the state of North Carolina. I came to Durham in 1985, and I knew about Northern and Southern at that time. It's one of the games that some people will show up that you didn't even know supported football because they were back in the 70s, back in the 60s, and remember those games that were rival games back in the day.
My biggest goal is just helping my team as much as I can, trying to get them to a championship and helping develop young guys for next year. My goals in college, I want to finish college in 3.5 years, hopefully go in the NFL, get my degree as an architectural engineer. Be able to get deep in the playoffs, and I feel like this year is going to be the year that we do that. So we just looking forward to playing there, work on the field, taking it one game at a time, and hopefully getting to that next level.
Next up on September 9th is the game of the week as 3-time state champion Wake Forest takes on defending state champion Cardinal Gibbons. This is going to be an outstanding matchup.
Well, first of all, Cardinal Gibbons is one of the teams that I haven't, as a head coach, had success with. Coach Steve Wright does a great job of having his kids prepared from the technical standpoint. They're not going to make a lot of mistakes. So in that matchup, we got to be that same team, a team that's going to go out and break down the offense, break down the defense, special teams, but not make a lot of mistakes. When you play a team like Cardinal Gibbons, who's coming off a state championship, you know they're going to be ready to try to repeat. So we're going to have to be ready to play.
What does it mean to you to have the spotlight on you and the team?
It means a lot because as growing up, I saw people above me always being showcased by you guys, so it's a good thing.
Team-wise, we have 3 main goals. Is number 1 is to win the conference championship, number 2 make the playoffs, and number 3 win the state championship. And obviously that state championship is that main one that you want.
I think this is the type of game that makes both programs better. We really challenge each other, I think, in a lot of ways. And it's a unique opportunity, especially in the non-conference schedule, to really test yourself against a team that you know is going to be playing in the postseason.
The next 2 games are rematches we featured last season on Friday Night Rivals. South Garner visits Garner in one of the area's newest crosstown rivalries. Last season, South Garner entered this game 4-0 with all the hype, while Garner came in at 0-2, having scored just 13 points on the year. Garner won 38-7, letting everyone know it's still their town for football.
It's intercepted. What a way to cap it for Garner.
The following week, we head to the SWAC, where Apex Friendship takes on Holly Springs. The team's last meeting was a back-and-forth shootout, and absolutely one of the most exciting games we broadcasted all year. The crowd was electric, the touchdowns were flowing, and in the end, it was the Golden Hawks holding on for a 42-35 victory.
Play, Carlson, give him 6!
Coming up, we reveal the back half of the schedule, including some exciting matchups out of the Northern Athletic Conference.
It means a lot because not only are you getting to play on TV, you get to go back and watch your game with good quality. You know, it's just really fun to get to know that somebody is out here recording you.
Welcome back to the WRDC Sports Friday Night Rivals Kickoff Special. And we continue to reveal our fall schedule with the 6th game on our slate. We're going to Durham as Hillside takes on Jordan. It's the conference opener for both teams, and we spoke with Jordan head coach Justin Allred.
You know, a lot of times when we talk about Hillside around here, you raise eyebrows. It's definitely a big game. Those guys are well coached. They're athletic. I think it's a really good test for us in conference to make sure that we're getting playoff ready and starting to peak a little bit. But I've had a lot of fun with the Hillside games so far because the atmosphere is that much different, and we're looking forward to that.
Hillside, they are always a very athletic team. They're definitely very well coached as well. So my job as offensive coordinator is try to find, where the one-on-one matchups are, try to get our guys the ball, and I like our guys in a one-on-one any day of the week.
What's the rivalry with Hillside like and the anticipation going to Friday night?
There's a lot of trash talk, and I mean a lot of trash talk, and that's what I like because it brings intensity and brings heat, and the more heat, the more fun.
Next up, we've got a run of games in the Northern Athletic. The conference was so strong last year that all 6 of its teams made the playoffs, with 5 of them winning at least one playoff game. The Knack is loaded with talent, especially at quarterback, and you'll get a look at some of that talent in Knightdale's Jonathan Montague and NC State commit Lex Thomas of the Huskies. And against Knightdale, what are some of the keys to victory going against a team like them?
Well, kind of jokingly and laughingly, don't go into overtime with them because we had a three-game overtime last year. That was kind of interesting. Our kids were tired, their kids was tired. So it's one of those things that any team can win at any given time in our conference. So it would be one of those things. Let's try to do everything we can do early so we're not getting into shootout in overtime with them.
You committed to NC State and following your brothers. How excited are you to be with the Wolfpack next year?
Really excited. I'm obviously following their footsteps, but I'm creating my own path at the same time because they're going to be gone when I'm there. So it's going to be a fun senior year and looking forward to it.
Coach, what's the best part coaching Lex?
Just how smart he is. He makes my job a lot more easy. We do throw some pretty complex stuff with motions and shifts and scheme in general. I really don't have to tell him much more than one time. High football IQ, and so once I kind of draw it up and show it to him and we give a name and a signal to it, he's pretty much got it down pat, and so that makes all of our jobs way easier.
Staying in the Knack, we got another game that went to overtime last season as Wakefield takes on Millbrook. Chris Bunning takes over for the Wildcats, just the team's 3rd head coach in 41 years.
Obviously, the Knack is a really tough conference. Wakefield finished, last in our conference last year, but that doesn't tell you anything about how good they are. They took us into overtime last year when we were co-conference champs. Anybody in this league can win on any Friday night, and so you have to bring your A game every week. And I think that's a really big thing that we've tried to stress to our kids is you have to be locked in every week. We haven't had a chance to really get past the 3rd round. That's kind of been our Achilles heel for a long time here. And that's kind of been our motivation all the way through is, boys, we've got to take what we do to another level in order to reach those things.
Our defense is getting better every day, so I think that we have like a very balanced offense and defense and, help us get to the next level.
It was 21-21 in overtime, it was too close. We were playing for a conference championship. Turnovers, that's the biggest thing. Turnovers win you the game. Finishing drives in the red zone. Can't turn the ball over. We got to score every time.
Man, Millbrook is going to be tough. The thing what I'm going to stress to the kids is no overtimes. We played them twice since I've been here. We beat them in overtime once, and they beat us in overtime this past year. So no overtime. Man, Millbrook, just like everybody else in the Knack, you better bring your A game, and you better play for all 4 quarters, all phases of the game. It's just the Knack, man. I didn't know it was this tough when I was back east. Well, before I came here, I thought it was just Raleigh ball. But man, this Knack is a different story, boy. It's tough. But everybody know, Wakefield is right there.
Our 9th game on the schedule should be another great one as Wake Forest travels to Roseville. 2 schools with designs on a title run. Another instant classic from last season, this game came down to the very last play as Roseville came up just a few yards short as time expired. What do you enjoy most about coaching this team?
These kids, they make it fun. They make it fun coming out here every day. They work hard. They know how to
turn it on and off, when to have fun, when to work hard. And, guys like Noah, Tamarcus, Rory, Isaiah Jones, Reggie Love, they just make it fun.
What do you want to accomplish as a team this season?
State championship, conference champs, undefeated, and maybe even a state record.
You'll be facing Wake Forest on Friday Night Rivals. What does the rivalry mean to you?
It means a lot to me personally. I had two cousins, Bryce and Chris, go through Wake Forest. My uncle's still a Wake Forest fan. He hates I'm at Roseville, but, it's going to be a fun game. Conference games are always fun.
One of the main keys is making sure the kids' emotions are intact. These guys are close friends. Roseville used to be part of our school, Wake Forest, Roseville. So the two communities are close, and it has become an intense rivalry with the way Roseville has jumped on the scene with the success they've had. I think our kids are going to have to stay focused, but focus on Wake Forest and not Roseville, not the write-ups, not the media coverage, and I think we'll be okay.
Our final game on the schedule might just be the most heated rivalry we've covered the past few years, at least among fan bases. We're talking about Clayton versus Cleveland. New Clayton head coach Scott Chadwick won a lot of games with Myers Park, and most recently was the director of recruiting operations for the University of Maryland football program. What's the one ingredient you could give us to building a championship team?
Good players. I think there's a lot of things you can do, to put a structure of a program in place, and that's what we're trying to do. We have a certain culture and certain core values that we, espouse to. But in the end, all that is really good. But in the end, you got to have good players. We can't call this a true rivalry until we can start being competitive with them. And I think, for the last couple of years, Clayton's had a hard time being competitive with Cleveland. And I think for us right now, if we want to make this a true rivalry, we've got to start upholding our end of the bargain.
What are the keys in a rivalry game to get the win?
I think just keeping your composure is the key. You're going to have ups and downs. No game's going to be perfect. Just how you handle those transitions. When a bad play happens, how do you rally from it?
What makes a matchup so special?
I think the whole community comes out and watches. Football is important to this area. Winning is hard, so anytime you get one, it's nice. But when you know the other team really well, it's a little bit nicer.
We are so excited to bring you all of these games this fall on Friday Night Rivals. And don't go anywhere, because up next, we'll speak with the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Commissioner, Q Tucker.
It feels like we're, in the NFL, in the league. Everybody gets dressed up nice. We have the commercial breaks. It's really fun. So it's just really cool experience.
Welcome back. 2021 was such an exciting year on Friday Night Rivals, and we expect nothing less in 2022. That's just one of the topics we discussed in our conversation with the North Carolina High School Athletic Association Commissioner, Q Tucker. Commissioner Tucker, thank you so much for your time today, and football season is here.
It is here, Jay. It's hard to believe, but the calendar says it, and just by the volume of calls on the last couple of days, we know it's real.
And we've had so much fun bringing Friday Night Rivals to the communities through our broadcast. What's some of the feedback you've received?
It unites communities to come out to a game and cheer against another community because we want to beat that team. And so they're rivalry games. Oftentimes they go to church together, they shop in the same locations, they do a lot of things together, but that sort of promotes the rivalry. So those games are exciting. Now they bring an added dimension for coaches because one, the expectation of the players is that we're going to beat our rival. The community expects you to beat the rival. And as a coaching staff, you probably put a little bit of extra pressure on yourselves to try to win that game. But they are fun once the ball is kicked off.
And we're so excited to begin our broadcast this season. What does that exposure mean to the players, the coaches, and the communities?
It is increased exposure, and it's an increased opportunity for us to model the kind of behavior that we expect in education-based athletics by being good sports, by showing the spirit of cooperation, the teamwork that you see.
And with our travels and all of our broadcasts, we get to meet with the coaches and interact with them. And I've been so impressed with the players, the athletes that we get to talk to, and the great coaches. What impresses you most about everybody you get to interact with?
I think our coaches in particular do a great job of trying to say to young people, we want you to leave our program being able to go out into the world as productive and good citizens.
And for you, I know you're always at games, but if you ever have an opportunity to watch a broadcast or maybe get feedback from someone else, what are some of the things you love about watching the broadcast and seeing the athletes and the coaches perform?
One thing I always love is just seeing the student body when the camera pans to the students in the stands and to see the level of excitement about, oh, I'm on television. That's always really neat when I'm watching a game. And then I like seeing the fact that we have everybody coming together.
We love covering it, and we really appreciate your time and all the great work you do for all the student athletes, coaches, and communities.
Well, thank you so much, and I really do appreciate what you all do, and I look forward to seeing games live and on television this year if I'm not in person.
And that's a wrap for our first annual WRDC Sports Friday Night Rivals Kickoff Special. We want to thank Hugh Tucker for taking the time to speak with us, and thanks to you for watching. I'm Jay Sunhalter, and have a great night. How did you find out you're going to be on Friday Night Rivals, and what was the reaction?
Well, I found out this morning, and it was pretty good because I haven't been on TV in a while, and it's exciting for us.
Well, you're doing great on TV right now. Carter is bigger than me, 6'5".
I think it's more rivalry, like a hate rivalry amongst adults in the community than it is the kids. They kind of like each other.
Sometimes I'll go back on the computer and watch the full game.
Now, did your teachers know you were watching it in class?
Main strategy will be to score as many points as possible.
Would you rather have a touchdown or a sack?
I think touchdown, because you just get to hear the marching band play, the song, and that's the best feeling.